king of noise. Artillery starts shouting, but if you speak to the people who are still inside Mariupol today, the first thing they mention isn't the noise, is the silence. Before 2022, Mariupol was a bustling European port city. It had almost 500,000 people. It smelled like a sea salt and steel factories. Today, the atmosphere is something out of a dystopian novel. It has become a bottom-wickham village, a facade designed to look perfectly normal on camera, but which hides a chilling psychological reality underneath. What happened in Europe after the siege, and it is arguably more terrifying than the battle itself, because the goal wasn't just to capture a city, the goal was to completely erase its memory. Chapter 1, the concrete facts set. If you watch Russian state media today, they show brand new white apartment blocks, they show newly paved roads and freshly painted parks. It looks like a miracle of rapid reconstruction, but there is the reality of the concrete. Those new buildings were erected at breakneck speed directly over the wrist of the unlivable boots. The physiological scares of the city are being paved over so fast that it creates a psychological whiplash for the survival image. Walking down your street and the building where your neighbor vanished is just gone, replaced by a sterile identical white block. The street signs were changed overnight. The language in the school was switched instantly. Historical monuments were quietly dismantled in the dark. It is an industrial scale gas-lighting operation. The atmosphere is heavy because everyone knows what is buried under the new asphalt, but absolutely no one is allowed to talk about it. Chapter 2, the paranoid filtration. This brings us to daily life. The city, the atmosphere is ruled by one paranoia. You cannot trust your neighbors. The person living in the newly built apartment next to yours might be a Russian construction worker brought in from thousands of miles away, influenced by cheap mortgages to repopulate this area. To survive in Mariupol today, you must pass through filtration. You always check your social media history, don't let it, your tattoo are expired if you speak Ukrainian in the wrong space, or if someone reports that you are rude at the Russian military patrol, the wrong, or you will simply disappear into a basement. So the remaining workers have learned new survival skill absolutely invisibly. They keep their head down. They take the Russian passports because without them you cannot buy groceries or get medical care, and they live in a state of suspended animation. It's a city holding its breath. But even with the new paint and the new buildings, the soul of the city economy is dead. The asphalt steel plant, which was the beating heart of Mariupol employing tens of thousands of people fueling the entire region, is a massive rusted graveyard. You cannot replace an industrial powerhouse with a few new coffee shops and imported construction crews. The jobs are gone, beyond have either failed, being deported, or are hiding. The what remains is a population made up of elderly who are too weak to run, and the imported workforce. It's a city that looks functional on a drone camera but feels completely hollow when you walk the streets. Although the blueprint. What's happening in Mariupol isn't just a tragedy, it's a blueprint. It is a live experiment in how a mortal superpower can forcefully override the intensity of half a million people in the 21st century. It shows us that in the modern and asymmetric warfare, winning the military battle is only step 1. Step 2 is already hurting reality itself. The world is changing faster than the news can report it. If you want to look past the propaganda and understand the raw and negative mechanics of global geopolitics, hit subscribe. We don't do conflict lies here, we analyze the reality.